like to just state that personally, and I don't think that our councillors around this table, just so the public is aware, that my reasoning for not supporting the application in my capacity here as a councillor has nothing to do with the Niagara District issue. For me, it's an entirely separate issue, and I know like optically in the public, it probably seems like this is a reaction to council being very frustrated with Niagara District, but I want to assure the parents in this community that I would not personally use their children as pawns in that kind of debate. So my reasonings are entirely separate from the Niagara District. So I'd just like to clarify that for the parents so they can be sure that that is not sort of where I think this council is coming from. That being said, I don't think it helps the issue with the parents being faced with being caught in the middle of a dispute over this land use on line 2. And I don't want to go through all my reasons again, but certainly I think a lot of the councillors around the table are frustrated that there was no conversation in regards to where that school might be placed within the urban boundary, which was designated residential. With all of the empty properties we're going to be faced with this community. So for me, it was really a planning issue for the long-term vision of this community. But as I said, that really doesn't help the parents of the school that want to deliver the best education to their kids. I don't know what the solution is. I'd like to find out if there's an opportunity. I know we haven't had a lot of luck in terms of conversation with the DSBN, but maybe we can sit down again to find out if they're willing to look at an alternative location. I mean, that would be my preference, that they, as you know, I've stated I prefer they don't put the school on lands that are allocated for residential. So I doubt there is maybe something that would happen, but at the same time, I'd like to try. I don't know if we can reach out to have a meeting before it goes to the OMB. I know it's out of sort of our council's hands as well because it's more committee adjustment, so maybe refer to the CAO, or maybe we could just report back from staff. I know it's hard to put them on the spot, so can we refer something back to staff? How would it be the best way to
Mr. CAO, it's a tough one. Certainly on the other school, we were in contact. That's the Catholic board, and got it dealt with fairly quickly. On this one, I have not been in contact with DSBN for some time, and maybe we should do that.
My sense is that the board would be open to that kind of a conversation. That's just from a casual conversation I've had with one of the superintendents. Staff will be reporting to council about the OMB hearing and looking for some direction on that. And that will be coming up in January, as I recall.
So maybe
Possibly we can try and reach out.
request to reach out before that report, so we can have some.
You could certainly make that effort. I'd certainly, in fact, I was invited to meet with the Director of Education about some costs of school closings, and I'd be happy to mention that too.
And there is a new chair and vice chair at DSBN, I believe effective January 1. And I'm quite happy to either try and contact the current chair or the new chair or both, and to have that very discussion. And maybe later on we can have a motion directing me to do that.
Would you like another new business?
Yes.
And I'll have some time to write it out.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you for that.
Yes, Councillor Good.
And just to that quickly, the most frustrating aspect of this whole thing is, of course, the provincial legislation that doesn't allow this council to sit down with them and have a discussion. It's always a matter of a few delegates or somebody. And there's always people in this council who aren't a part of those discussions.
Yes.
And I find that very frustrating. It's one of the reasons that these blockades are put in place between our two organizations is this stupid provincial policy. And so I'm very frustrated by that. I think if that wasn't in place, we could invite them down. We could sit down as a council, as a number of DSBN trustees, and have a frank, candid discussion. But provincial legislation just doesn't allow it, and it irritates me to no extent.
I agree 100%, Councillor. All right, Councillor Collard, Councillor Madison.
Councillor Madison, go first if you want.
You're speaking, Counselor.
I'm actually going to speak about Mr. Crow. Brian came this evening to open the door, and I hope that we have been struggling with